Let us start with the PCB design. So, firstly, we will understand what is PCB designing and its scaling. Next, we will understand what are the PCB circuit boards, printed circuit boards, and then we will study what is the EasyEDA tool for design. This is the tool which we are going to use throughout our course. Let us start with the PCB designing and its scaling. As the basis of all the electronic devices and PCBs feel intense pressure for development and growth, with the consumers pushing for the slimmer and faster devices and with the industry seeking improved functionality, the PCB must continue developing into the future. So you guys know that the mobile that you are using are more slimmer than the earlier one. So that is the reason behind is the PCBs what are there in your mobile are developed one than the one which is used in keypad mobiles. The components used in that PCBs are different. Firstly, they used to use a THT components, that is a through hole components, and now they are all replaced by this SMD components, that is the surface mount components. So the development in the PCBs is very vast. It is developing very in high rate. It is assumed that 5x rate is the PCB designing developing rate. So in 2015, 36.6 million square meters of PCBs are manufactured around the world, and it is expected that 74 million square meters of PCBs are going to be manufactured in upcoming years. So if you connect all the PCBs around the world, the area will be around 74 million square meters. You can't even imagine the area that is. It is a million square meters. So that is the scaling rate of this PCB designing. So what is PCB? This is, as you know, this is a printed circuit board. We can also call this PCB as a ability of an design engineer to convert an idea into reality. If you have, as I heard that you all are from electronics and communication background, you will be having many circuits in your mind. So to make that circuit in reality, we just need to design that circuit. So the PCB designing is the best way. It is the more efficient way to come up with an idea, and it is the best way you can say. So we call it as an ability of an design engineer to convert your idea into reality. So in to tell in the theoretical way, it is a method of connecting components electrically and mechanically using copper wires, that is a conducting wire. So why do you need these PCBs? To make our circuit in compact size and to design the application for mass production and standard product design and manufacturing. So to make your circuit in compact size, that is a small size, if you are using breadboards, the size will be very high, and the jumping wires will consume more place there. In case of PCB, there will be no jumping wires and insulated wires. There will be a copper track, so the size is highly reduced here. And to design the application for mass production, uh, the term mass production is you can design as many components, as many designs as you want using only one design. If you want to design a circuit, like if you want to design a timer circuit, you have to design only once. So if you design that one circuit, you can manufacture many circuits through one design. It is not in the case of that breadboards. If you want to design hundreds of timer circuits through breadboards, you need to design. You need to take 100 breadboards and 100 components. So you need to do it 100 times. But in case of PCBs, it is only one time designing, and you can get as many circuits as. So standard product design and manufacturing. So the whatever rules followed in case of PCB designing are standard one. So the efficiency is very high and you will get a proper design circuit. So what we can do with these PCBs? There are many applications and there are many uses uh, by learning these PCBs. You can design and create your own hobby projects. If you have any hobby projects in your mind, you can create and you can even do your final year projects. So if you are from engineering backgrounds, you can do your final year projects by your own and you can create the products for others. And if your any components, any circuits from your home goes wrong, you can identify that and you can create your own PCB there. And you can even work with the PCB designing and manufacturing companies. There are many manufacturing and designing companies. You can join that companies if they find that you have skills of that PCB designing, they can hire you. And or you can create your own products and start selling them and become an entrepreneur. So if you don't want to join any companies, you can start up your own company by designing your own PCBs. So these are the some of the um, applications and how to create these PCBs. So we are going to learn this in detail. First is an ideation process. Ideation is nothing but whatever circuit you want to design, just you need to do that in your paper or whatever tool you are going to use. Just draw that circuit. Firstly, you need to have an idea in your mind. Then we have a schematic design here. Schematic design is nothing but whatever circuit you have designed in papers. That same design is going to be designed in your whatever software we are using. In our case, this is the EasyDA tool. We are going to use an EasyDA tool where it provides schematic as well as the layout designs. So you can design schematic there and converting that schematic into layout is allowed there. Layout is nothing but routing the components by using your copper tracks. And we have a fabrication. After layout, we will be having a fabrication. This is done in industries and assembly industry where you place the components and the testing and validation. After doing all this process, your PCB will be going to the testing. And if once the testing is done and validation is done, the product will be sold to the market. These are the steps involved here. And an easy idiot tool for design. As I already told, this is the tool we are going to use. Why Easy EDA is because this is a free web-based Easy EDA tool. It enables hardware engineers to design, simulate, and share publicly and privately. It also like if you have created any component, it can be accessible by other people also. So it is like it needs your network. Whenever you want to use this tool, you should be connected to your network. So it is a network based and it is totally free. There are approximately 6 to 7 layers where you can design the PCBs. Seven layers of PCBs and it allows both layout and schematic design and it has 3D view also, so it is more efficient way to design these PCBs. The other tools,
Ma'am, ma'am, what are layers?
layers. Layers means there are many types of PCBs like single layer, double layer, like it will be having that much layers. One substrate will be there above and below that much of if it is a single layer, only one single layer of copper will be there above the substrate. I will tell you in further slides. I have explained that with
Okay.
images and all. Yeah. we will see what are the other tools here. We have Proteus. Proteus also provides you PCB designing, and we have Eagle or CAD, KiCad, and eSIM. We have one more tool that is Cadence. It allows an basic analog and digital circuits. Have you guys used any one of these tools?
Ma'am, I once used Eagle.
Yeah. Have you not used Proteus?
Yeah, KiCad.
Okay. The one which I used was Proteus and eSIM and Cadence. They were actually, in case of Cadence, the schematic part is very easy, but layout is somewhat difficult there. But in case of EasyEDA, the both schematic and layout part are very easy. So we have chosen this EasyEDA. This was all I told in that webinar. So we will start with our today's PPT. Before that, if you have any doubts, you can ask.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, as I already told, what is the theoretical definition of PCB designing? It is an electrical and mechanical connection of electronic component designed for specific application. And first, these PCBs were developed by this Australian engineer Paul Esler. Once again, I will be back. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, it was first developed by an Australian engineer, Paul Esler, when he was designing his radio system in 1936. So, we can also call this PCB designing as a best way to materialize and manufacture a circuit. You can see here. Let me keep it in sliding.
Ma'am, will we get videos after the class is over?
Can you repeat?
Can we get these videos after the class is over?
Yeah, I have started recording. If I was able to download that recording session, it will be uploaded in YouTube. You can access that video.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. If you want to note down the things, you can. So, I was telling that PCB designing is the best way to materialize and manufacture a circuit. You can say this is a circuit which is drawn through your pencil and pen, whatever. So to convert these into reality one, this is the PCB. The both the circuits are not same, but I have shown you the way how to convert these um, pen and paper based design into a real one. So what is a printed circuit board? Initially, there were no. Initially, they used to do PCBs by their own hands. So they are called DIY PCBs. DIY is nothing but do it yourself. Firstly, they used to buy these bare PCBs. So it will be having a copper layer on the substrate. Substrate is nothing but a non-conducting substrate, a non-conducting material on which they used to um, make this copper layer. So on that they used to draw these circuits like the parts and all they used to draw, and after that there is a process called PCB etching. Again, the etching process is done through some kind of chemicals, hydrofluoric and all. and they used to drill the holes, and after that solder components. This is the footprint. On that, they used to place the components, and they used to solder that using leads, and after finish the system. These bare PCBs are converted into the PCBs here, manufactured PCBs. But nowadays we all are seeing the PCBs which are manufactured by industries. Barely we can see these handmade PCBs. So there are two terms here. One is PCB and one more is a PCBA. The difference here is you can see this is the only circuit. There are no components placed on its design. And this is the one where the components are placed properly. So PCB populated with electronic components is called a printed circuit board assembly. The one PCB after when it is ready after placing all the components, this is called a PCBA. Before that, it is just a PCB. So our PCBA is the board after all the components and parts have been soldered and installed on the PCB and now can complete the electronic function it was designed for. Before placing the component, it was just an board. It will not do any work like whatever whatever the reason you have designed for, it won't be giving any results there. But after placing the components and soldering it, you will definitely get whatever application you have designed there. So there are mainly three types of boards. I guess you all have seen these. First is a breadboard, and the second one is a general purpose board, and third one is a printed circuit board. Firstly, breadboard, it is a thin plastic board used to hold the electronic components like transistors, resistors, diodes, and ICs. And the components are wired using an insulated wire. So the breadboards can be reused. Yeah, you may have used these breadboards. They work like all the horizontals will be having a different voltages and vertical the pins will be having a same voltage. So these breadboards can be reused. If you have done any work on it, you can remove that components and again you can design some other designs there. But in case of general purpose boards and printed circuit boards, if you have designed a circuit, you can't reuse that circuit boards. In case of general purpose board, the name says that it can be used for any purposes. The board can be used for any applications. It is made up of it is general purpose boards are widely used to embedded circuits. Its layer is coated with the copper and allows proper soldering without any short circuit. This general purpose board will be coated with the copper, and when you place the components and when you solder it, it will be electrically connected. So no short circuit will happen because the dots are too far. Like there is a proper distance maintained there, so there will be no short circuits. But you can't even use after doing one soldering and all. You can't reuse that circuit for other applications. Only one circuit is designed on the one board. And third one is a printed circuit board. It is the best way to materialize and manufacture circuit. So in case of printed circuit, you will be not doing that manufacturing process. But in case of general purpose, all the component placing and soldering will be done by you. But in case of printed circuit board, that all only designing part is done by engineers. All other parts, manufacturing and all will be done by industries. So if you efficiency wise, if you consider PCBs are the most efficient because all the IPC's rules and standards are followed. So you can say that efficiency is very high here. This is the There are, as I already told, types of PCBs. First one is a single-sided. Secondly, we have a double-sided PCBs. And thirdly, we have a multi-layer. How we have this differentiated means you can see in this diagram. Firstly, we have a substrate here. The green color is a substrate part. Above that, we have a single copper layer, and above the copper layer, we have a solder mask, and we have a seal screen. I will explain what is the seal screen and solder mask in upcoming slides. So a single-sided PCB is the most basic type of printed circuit board. It consists of only one conductive copper layer above the substrate. Yeah. Single means only one copper layer will be there, and the electrical components are soldered or mounted on the one side of the board. You can place the components on the only one side. You can't place the components on the bottom side. You can place the component on the top side and you can route them on the bottom side. So this is the single-sided PCB, and the copper layer can be different thickness. Most common and popular thickness of the copper layer is 35 micron, that is 35 micrometers. This whatever thickness you are finding, it is approximately 35 micrometers. So this we are going to learn how to design these PCBs, single-sided PCBs throughout this course. Secondly, we have I have explained what is substrate here. And this is the substrate you have seen here. It is a base material, or it can be also called a substrate. It is usually made up of fiberglass, and it is technically called FR4, that is fiber 4. And this solid core gives the PCB its rigidity and thickness. The whatever rigidity and thickness you find in the PCBs, it is all given by this substrate. Whatever thickness of your substrate will be, as according to that, your PCB size will be determined, and the board thickness is also depend on this substrate. So the thickness of this substrate will be around 0.8 millimeters to 2.6 millimeters. So most commonly it will be 1.6 millimeters. I have mentioned some key features and applications of single layer PCBs here. Since the single sided PCBs are most effective, cost effective, and suitable for high volume orders, the whatever cost you the design cost of this single layer PCB is very less because complexity is not so high here, and it is very easy to manufacture and design, and easy to repair in case something goes wrong. You can if some components are not soldered correctly or something not properly connected, you can repair it. But in case of double sided and multi layer PCBs, the complexity is very high, so determining that errors is somewhat difficult. But in case of single layer PCBs, it is very easy. There are some applications. These single-sided PCBs can be found in calculators and in your power supply units, like your adapters and all, and in LED lighting boards, FM radios, and timer circuits. This is an example of timer circuit where they have used 555 timer IC, some resistors and capacitors, and one battery is used and LED to show the timer. You can see all the components are placed on the above layer only, not on the below. And we have a double-sided PCB. You can see in this diagram, we have a single substrate, and above and below of that substrate we have copper layer. Two copper layers are there, hence the name is double-sided PCB. And above and below of that copper layer we have a solder mask and seal screen. And Double-sided PCB is also called as two-layer PCB. They have two-sided traces with a top and bottom layer. Why we have designed this double-sided PCBs, you can place the components on the top as well as the in bottom. So the size of the PCB will get reduced, and but the complexity increases here. These boards can mount and conductive copper and components on both the sides of the circuit board, which allows the traces to cross over each other. If you want to connect a component from the top layer to the component on the bottom layer, you can use these vias. Vias are nothing but a kind of electrically connected holes which connects the components from the top layer to the bottom layer. You can see this is the top side view of this double sided PCB and this is the bottom side view. You can place the components on the both these sides, hence the size will reduce, and but the cost will be increased automatically because the copper layer whatever you will be using here will be somewhat high as compared to the single layer PCBs. And lastly, we have a multi-layer PCBs. In case of multi-layer, you will be finding many layers of copper on the substrate. So it is a circuit board that has more than two layers of copper. All the multi-layer PCBs must have at least three layers of conducting material which are buried in the center of this material. All the copper layers are buried under this substrate. It gives a high assembly density and it is smaller in size, increased flexibility, and reduces overall weight. Whatever PCBs you are finding in your mobiles and in advanced digital circuits, all will be these multi-layer PCBs. It is highly reduces your PCB size and weight because you can place the components on the both the sides and you can connect them easily using a multi-layer of coppers. So the size gets reduced automatically. The application of this multi-layer is a GPS technology and industrial controls, satellite systems, X-ray equipments, and heart monitoring systems. Whatever pulse oximeter, whatever you guys are using, healthcare equipments, all will be made up of this multi-layer PCBs. This is the advancement happen in this PCB. And we have the steps involved in PCB designing. Firstly, a part research and selection. In this step, we will be firstly determining what are the components we are going to use, what are the specification of the components. So to determine which component is useful for our design, for that you need to study the data sheets. In data sheets, you will find all the information, operating points, switching characteristics of that component. So before going to design the PCBs, you need to study the data sheets of the components you are using because if you don't know the application of that IC or that component or that device, you will be not understand why you are using that. So make sure that you do a data sheet study. And we have a schematic capture and simulation. After determining the components and designing your circuit on paper based, you have a schematic capture and simulation. In schematic capture, it is the schematic capture is an environment in a CAD-like design interface in which graphical symbols of circuit components such as op-amps, resistors, transistors, and processors are placed and connected together to form the design topology. You will be having symbols of your electronic components like resistors. You will be having some symbols, right? uh, like capacitors having two plates. You will be having symbols of that components. So you just need to drag that components and place in your schematic area and connect them using a wire. This is the step involved in this schematic capture. And we have a board layout. You must transfer a schematic to a board layout application. From here, you define the board outline. It is also called as form factor, and place the parts onto the board surface and route the components using copper layers. After doing your schematic, you just need to convert that schematic into your layout. You will be having an option there. So after converting into layout, you need to firstly uh, fit your outline, whatever size you want your PCB. Just you need to do that outlines, justify that outlines, and place the components on that area only. And after that, connect that components using this copper tracks. This is all about board layout. After that, you will be generating a Gerber file of your PCB. So that Gerber file will be sent to your industry. So according to your Gerber file, they will design a PCB for you. So what are the computer
Ma'am,
aided
what is
tools?
garbage file? Could you repeat?
Your voice is breaking.
Ma'am, what is garbage file? Can you repeat?
Yeah, Gerber file is a file where all the layout, whatever you have designed, all the layout is it is a file of your layout. Like you will be having PDFs, right? Whatever you have written. So it is a kind of a PDF only. But whatever layouts you have done, it is stored in that Gerber file. So according to your Gerber file, the companies will design your circuit.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
I will show you how to generate that Gerber files later. So firstly, we will see what are the different EDA tools or CAD tools available in your Google and all. We have a easy EDA tool, Proteus, Eagle, OrCAD, KiCad, and Altium. Both Eagle and KiCad are free. Eagle also comes in premium version where it provides many layers of PCB designing. And Easy EDA also a free web-based tool. It also comes under Premiere, where it provides more than 64 layers of designing PCBs, and all other are free versions only. So I have mentioned why we have selected this EasyEDA tool, because it is a simple installation. You can download and install easily, and the large component library. You have both global library and e-library there. And we have a schematic capture. It provides schematic capture and PCB layout. You can design up to 64 layers of PCBs here. If you want to design more than 64 layers, you just need to go for Premiere version. And how to use? There are it allows in two you can design online also. No need to download the software. But if you want to make if you want to use it daily basis, you just need to download and install that EasyEDA tool. But in both the cases, the internet connection is must. For downloading this EasyEDA tool, just type an EasyEDA there in Chrome. Let me show you. This is the EasyEDA software here. Just go for circuit simulator. This is the download option. You can download from here. It has 32-bit and 64-bit of versions. Whatever your laptop is compatible, you can download that. And installing steps are also easy. You can install. So lastly, I have mentioned some applications here. Just go through these applications. If you find any difficulty or any queries in this part, you can ask whatever you have learned here. So we will be starting with the design process from tomorrow. I guess we don't have tomorrow classes. We will be having our next class on Saturday. So before that, you just need to download this EasyIDEA tool. So we will start with the design process from Saturday only.
Ma'am, can we get the slides?
No, actually, they have not allowed us to provide these slides.
Okay, then when we are supposed to get the video, recorded video?
Yeah, you will get from after 2 days, I guess, because I need to download it and then they need to upload.
Okay.
Shall we proceed with? Do we have 4 more slides? Can we continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to teach this after the design part when you start because you will understand more effectively in that case. You will be watching what are the through hole components and surface mount components there. Let me share my EasyIDEA tool here. This is the EasyIDEA tool where I have already registered myself. So when you open it first time, you just need to register using your email ID and password. And after that, we will be having this window. We will be always in the standard mode. And we have options here, project, e-library, library. This is the global library. You will find all the components here. And there are some industries which this is the LCS and JLC PCB designing industries. So in file section, we have project designing, schematic, PCB, symbol. So if you want to design any symbols, you can design on your own. No need to take from the library also. If you know the component pins, pin diagrams and all, you can design your own symbol. I will show you one symbol creation and footprint creation. So you can also design your 3D model and all. There are some options given here. Firstly, when you want to design your project, you need to go to file section and select new and select project, not select any schematic and layout here. Just go to project. So you need to give a name to your design, whatever circuit you want to design. So I will just name and test circuit here just to show you how the components are used here. So save it. If you want to give any description, you can give. So no spaces are allowed in project file name. This is the schematic. Uh, this is the schematic board you have. Within this schematic board only, you need to place the components. So This is your e-library. These are the component symbols. This is ground, VCC, resistors and all. This is the potentiometer. This is the capacitor. One is the electrolytic capacitor and ceramic capacitors. And we have inductors. And this is the DC jack. And we have connectors and all. These are LEDs. This is the push buttons, diodes, and all 7 segments and LCDs are there. And we have a 7805 voltage regulator. So all the basic components will be available in your e-library. If you know, if you don't find any component, you just go to your library here. Just type the name of that component. Otherwise, you can also type the part numbers of that component, and you will find many components here. There are LCSC, JLC PCB systems, and let me show you. If I type a 555 timer here, so you will find many ICs here. This is a through hole component. If you find any holes here with this symbol, this is the footprint. If you find any holes like hole like structure, they are the THD components. And if you find any red color pads, they are the SMD components. So let me come to these slides. The basic difference between SMD and through hole components is in case of SMD components, the placement, the whatever components you are using that will be placed on the component on the PCB board. It is soldered on the above layer only, not soldering below layer, because you will be not making any holes into the boards. No need of making holes. You just need to place the component on the board and soldering is done on the board only. But in case of through hole component, you need to drill the holes, and into that holes you just need to put your components and solder below the board. Like if you have placed the components on the above layer, you just need to solder on the below layer. So it uses holes to mount on the circuit board. It uses pads to mount on the circuit board. The term used here is pad, and the term used in the through hole component is a hole. So it is easier to solder. The soldering process of a through hole component is very easy. That is why the cost of the single layer PCB is very less. In case of multi-layer PCB, you will be using the surface mount components. Hence, the harder the soldering process, the cost will be very high, and it takes more space as compared to this SMD components. The space consumed by this through hole components is high because you just need to drill the holes. So drilling and soldering the component takes more space. In case of SMD, no need of drilling the hole. You will be placing the component on the board. So below the board also you can place the components. That is the advantage of using this SMD components. Whatever PCBs you are using right now in your mobiles, all will be containing these SMD components. Hence, the size of your mobile phones is very less, very thin. So there are some key terms in PCB designing. One is a DRC. DRC is a design rule check where it will check whether or whatever track width you have selected is a correct one or not. You just need to do a DRC check before converting your schematic, before converting your layout into Gerber file. So secondly, we have a hole. Hole is to insert the components and solder the components. So while Placing the through hole component, you just need to draw these holes. And we have pads. Pad is to solder the surface mount components. You can find these are the pads, rectangular pads. And we have term called traces. These are the copper tracks that connect the pads together. The higher current needs to be a thicker traces to avoid the damage in PCB. So traces are nothing but these copper tracks. If the current carrying, if the component is carrying more current, the thickness of this track should be very, width should be somewhat high. If So, according to the current carrying capacity of that track, the width has to be determined, and we have term called via. Via is a small hole through the board that links a bottom and top trace together electrically. As I have already told you, that if you want to connect a component from the above layer with the component with the bottom layer, you just need a via which connects both the tracks electrically. So traces on the same layer cannot cross. So often, when you are laying out a PCB, you need a single signal to jump from one layer to another layer. When you are designing a layout, so if you have drawn a layer, let me show you once in here only. This is the layout section. These are the copper tracks. This one is a bottom layer. So if you have already drawn one layer, and above that if you are trying to draw one more layer, it will not allow you to pass that layer because it will get shorted. So for that reason we will be using vias here. You just need to place your bottom layers and stop here and go to top layer and just draw one more layer here. So again, if you want to go to bottom layer, you can go. The whatever black color, black circular shape you are seeing, this is the via. This is connecting a bottom layer and the top layer. Whatever red color track you are finding, that is the top layer, and this is the bottom layer. So to connect them, we will be using these vias. According to the width of your track, the via size will also increase or decrease. And this is the hole. We have not used any surface mount components here. So whatever you are seeing, these all are the through hole components. Because you can see these are the round shaped circles. So these are the holes. Have you guys understood what is via and what is pad hole? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have a jumper. Again, jumper is a short length of conductor used to close, open, or bypass the part of an electrical circuit. And we have a footprint here. This is nothing but a component print on the PCB. These are the footprints. You can see this. These are called the footprints. In case of your schematic, these are called the symbols. So again, converting these schematic into layout, the same symbol is called a footprint. On that footprint only, you need to place your components. So you can also see the 3D diagrams of that. These are the 3D diagram of whatever you have designed. So this is the footprint. Above that, we have this is the footprint. Above that footprint, we have placed the components.
Ma'am, here all the things are through holes, right?
Yeah, all are through hole components. You can see the components are placed on the holes. So you need to solder the components on the bottom layer. And that was some key terms here. And we have two more terms, that is silk screen and solder mask. Whatever silver color writing area you are seeing here, that is written through the silk screen. So in case of PCB, if you are mentioning any name or any part names, it will be written through the silk screen. It is a white link over the solder mask, and it if you identification of component names is mentioned using the silk screen, and whatever symbol is there, that is also drawn using this silk screen. You don't need to draw any symbols, it will automatically take the symbols. So manufacturer names and pin and part numbers, all writing area is done using the silk screen. In case of your PCBs, so you have many layers here. You can see top layer, bottom layer, top silk layer. This is the uh, silk layer I was talking about. You can see here when you press on this silk layer, all the yellow color components footprints have got. If you press on the bottom layer, all the blue color will get highlighted, and when you press on the top layer, all the tracks of that red color will get highlighted. If you press on that eye, all the tracks of that red color will disappear. It will be present, but you can't see them. So when you are designing complex circuits, you will get confused with the tracks. What is the track I am drawing? So you, if you are designing from the bottom layer, you can press this layer, and you can disappear any layer you want. If you don't want to see this top silk layer, you can press on this. This is how this works. And we have one more term called solder mask. It's a layer on the copper, and it gives the PCB its color. Whatever green color you are seeing here, this is the solder mask. So it whatever solder mask color is, according to that your PCB color will be looks. So it can be red, green, blue, or black. So it protects the copper part of your PCB. To protect these copper tracks, the solder mask is used everywhere except the pads and holes for soldering. The solder mask will be present except the pads and holes part. So you need to place the components right. So for that reason, the solder mask is not present. Apart from that, all right, you can see this solder mask, and we have some
Ma'am,
rules.
solder mask is above the substrate, right?
Yeah, above the substrate.
Okay.
You can say that it is above the copper layer.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Let me show you how that substrate looks. So whatever white color layer you are seeing, this is the substrate here, and this the blue color whatever you are seeing, this is the solder mask. And
Okay, ma'am. Now clear.
this is the copper layer, one with the golden color. Okay. And there are some rules which I need to explain when we start with the design. So we will discuss about these rules in next class. Okay.